Welcome back to 6:45 in your Sunrise Smart Start. We start with news breaking overnight. A hit and run here in the city leaves one woman in the hospital.
This happened around 1 o'clock this morning at Lyle Ave and Glide Street. Police say a vehicle struck a woman in her 30s, then kept driving. They actually found the victim nearby on Potomac Street. She did go to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, a warning about the fox that bit several people in a Brighton neighborhood. It has tested positive for rabies. The Department of Public Health released the lab results just yesterday.
That disease can lead to death in infected animals and humans if left untreated. An expert with the state says as long as those infected receive rabies vaccines and post-exposure treatment, they should be just fine.
Police in Gates searching for a third suspect in connection to a stolen car chase yesterday morning. Police chased a stolen Kia through Gates into the city of Rochester, ending with a rollover crash. A 14-year-old and a 22-year-old were arrested. The 22-year-old was identified as Keyshawn Essig, who has since been released. He is charged with criminal possession of stolen property in the 3rd degree and obstructing governmental administration. The 14-year-old, however, was also the driver of the vehicle, police say, and was sent to family court.
Every officer for RPD on the books getting paid since March 2020 is now getting $4 grand in addition to a pay bump. That measure passed City Council. The vote last night 6-3. Back in June, when the current budget was adopted, the salary and wage rates were not yet established for those represented by the union for police, the Locust Club. After months of talks, a third party came up with a contract for the union. City Council members, the three that voted against this, Mary Lupian, Stanley Martin, and Kim Smith, the no votes.
A second man has been sentenced in the shooting death of Jonathan Walker in Rochester back in 2020. According to prosecutors, Arthur Allen will spend 25 years behind bars for the drug-related shooting on Resolute Circle. Marcus Collier was also sentenced for the shooting in February. He received 15 years in prison.
Dawn Mitchell, the sister of the man who confessed to killing their stepfather, was scheduled to be in court yesterday. That hearing pushed back. It was adjourned. William Mason was reported missing in 2021. His body discovered in a fire pit in Parma later that year. Lance Mitchell pleaded guilty to manslaughter and in doing so described in the courtroom how he killed Mason, saying the motive was over not being able to see his dying mother as well as a collection of childhood toys. Dawn Mitchell is charged with tampering with evidence and concealment of a corpse. It is unknown what her brother's confession and plea will do to affect her charges. She is due back in court May 9th.
The family of Brendan Burns, the man killed by Rochester police, plans to sue. That's according to attorney Nate McMurray. Burns was killed by police when authorities say he pointed a shotgun at them behind a house on Barrington Street in the Park Ave neighborhood. McMurray announced the family is now requesting all body cam footage be released, claiming only part of that footage was provided. Burns' family is calling for more compassion, care, and reform within RPD. McMurray adds the family characterizes Burns as a troubled young man going through a difficult time and in need of assistance with his addiction.
Upgrades coming to the village of Pittsford just in time for the PGA Championship next month and then Bill's training camp later this summer. The bridges along the canal have been upgraded. New additions have been made to make walking more accessible. In short, Pittsford is ready for the crowds, and the timing for these projects worked out just in time. The DOT invested more than $10 million in construction for these few projects. It wasn't done just solely for the PGA. It had to happen anyway, but the timing worked out.
One, rehabbing the bridge that we're standing on right now, rehabbing the roadway right through the heart of the village, and then the Route 31 bridge, in the other part of the village. We wanted to make sure that we had the project all buttoned up before the PGA tournament.
The DOT wants to remind everyone that, yes, we're right in the middle of construction season ramping up, so when you see crews out there working, please slow down and give them enough space.
City officials breaking ground on an improvement project, the Aqueduct District in downtown Rochester. The section is being transformed into a more pedestrian-friendly area while maintaining easy access for vehicles. The project includes new sidewalks for several streets along with more lighting, more signage. Rochester Mayor Malik Evans says this renovation is taking something with rich history and reimagining it for modern use.
Some more news we're following. The Taliban has reportedly killed the ISIS leader responsible for the deadly suicide bombing in 2021 at Kabul's international airport.
The attack killed 13 U.S. service members and 170 Afghans during the chaotic withdrawal from the country. It is considered one of the darkest moments of President Biden's presidency.
We'll pause for the news right now, get updates on that forecast, and check the radar with James Gilbert. We got a lot to follow this morning, and it is not good news for people heading out.
I just poked my head outside, and it is just not pleasant right now. It's cold. We've got a lot of rain around, even some wet flakes trying to mix in there as well. So that's what it looks like, especially if you're on the west side, coming down pretty hard over in Spencerport and Gates by Greece up toward Parma there as well. Town by town numbers, upper 40s for most, but I do think some spots get to 50. Scottsville, you're at 51. Honey Eye Falls, you're at 50 this afternoon. How about down in the Yates County, Penn 50, Dundee 49. Victor, you'll be at 50 degrees later today. Mount Morris, I'll give you 52 for an afternoon high temperature. We'll take a look at the 8-day at the end of the show. Brennan, Natalie.
Thank you, James. A live look at the roads this morning. Sunrise traffic. Nothing else showing up on the map right now in terms of slowdowns or accidents other than the ongoing construction projects. Again, a little bit of rain, sleet mix out there. Might be slick. Take it easy as you're headed out. More headlines. Governor Kathy Hochul says she's working to improve cell service all throughout the state, not just because it's an inconvenience for people, but it can also be a public safety concern.
The deadly shooting of Kaylin Gillis near Albany nearly 2 weeks ago highlights the issue. The 20-year-old passenger was shot and killed after the car she was in turned into the wrong driveway. Friends she was with told investigators they had to drive several miles to get service so they could call 911. Officials say the case proves the lack of cell service in rural spots is becoming a public safety issue.
We are very focused on improving cell service all over the state. I don't ever want to have a situation where someone can't get the help that they should have under such a horrific circumstance.
Similar concerns brought up in our area a few weeks ago when the Hilton Central School District had to go into lockout multiple days due to bomb threats there. School officials say a lack of cell service proved to be problematic when trying to communicate with one another.
Rochester Regional Health's chemical dependency programs are among the first in New York to receive the LGBTQIA+ affirming care endorsement. That's from the Office of Addiction Services and Supports. The designation recognizes the work done by RGH to meet unique needs of the community as it relates to substance abuse disorders. Research shows individuals in this population have an increased risk of substance abuse and other mental health issues. They're also more likely to contemplate and even attempt suicide. As we look ahead, a group from the Finger Lakes is hosting its annual fundraiser this weekend to help those battling breast cancer.
Jatira Marsh is back in studio with us now to explain more about their mission.
Natalie, Brighton, Embrace Your Sisters is having its Tea at 2 fashion show this weekend. Founded in 2006, Embrace Your Sisters is a volunteer organization that started after a group of friends experienced the loss of a loved one and witnessed the financial struggle she went through. Krista Jackson, who is the second vice president, says the organization helps both men and women who suffer from breast cancer and shares the kind of help they offer.
We help cover things such as rent, mortgages, car payments, car insurance, health insurance, medical bills, cell phone bills, things that you might need as you're going through breast cancer treatment.
The fundraiser is Sunday at 2 o'clock at the Casa Larga Vineyard. And if you want to learn more about the group and ways to help year-round, we'll have a link for you on this story on our website, rochesterfirst.com. Back to you.
Jatira, thank you. It is back. Genesee Brewery's Tropical Pineapple Kolsch. The brew is the summer companion to, of course, the top-selling Ruby Red. 12 packs of 12-ounce cans now on sale for both beers. Also happening at the brew house, they're selling what's called the Captain's Mix. That is half Ruby Red and half Tropical Pineapple.
Thirsty now. All right. The robots are taking over in AAA baseball. As of last night, the robotic umps are replacing human umps to call balls and strikes for the rest of the season. A system called Automated Balls and Strikes, ABS for short, will be used calling pitches Monday through Thursday. This is AAA wide. The weekend games, that'll be just like baseball's always been, with umpires right there behind the home plate calling the balls and strikes. Teams will be able to challenge 3 calls throughout the game, though. We're not going to replace James Gilbert with a robot here doing the weather.
You're safe. You're safe.
The personal touch.
Well, you know, whenever I go into classrooms, I ask, how does everybody get the weather? And they always say, my phone, Alexa, just the internet. Like,
not us.
Me.
Yeah.
That's when you teach them.
Yes, that's right. And I think they appreciate it. And I hope you appreciate the forecast as well with that personal touch. Rain showers around this morning. We do see a clearing as we get into the afternoon. Numbers around 50. That's running 10 degrees below average. But tomorrow is the day. Thursday looks like the best day of the week. We'll soak in that sunshine. mid-50s there. We do warm up a touch. Friday, a lot of the days dry, so I'm not going to rule Friday out as well as a pretty decent day. Highs around 60, and then there it is, weekend rain showers. We're making plans around the rain. If we have anything going on outside, we got to have a backup for Saturday and Sunday.
April showers bring May showers.
More showers, yeah.
Thanks for watching us this Wednesday. We'll see you back here in half an hour. CBS Mornings up next.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.